Hey guys, welcome to another YouTube video, and back by popular, or some people say unpopular demand, but the BBL match reviews are back for season 13 of the BBL. So in this match review, I'm going to be reviewing, well, let's just say three matches. One didn't happen, and two that did happen. So I'm going to review the first game, which happened on Thursday night, which was the Brisbane Heat and the Melbourne Stars non-event, and the second game obviously was the Sydney Sixers Melbourne Renegades match. If you can clearly tell, I'm not wearing a Melbourne Renegades. Not wearing my Melbourne Renegades stuff, so clearly tell how they went pretty much. And then obviously the third match last night that was supposed to happen between the Adelaide Strikers and the Brisbane Heat at the Adelaide Oval, which we go straight into it. Unfortunately, that was abandoned without a ball being bowled, obviously due to heavy rain. I could not have watched it live anyways, because I was at a 21st birthday party, unfortunately, so I couldn't. So if the match would have happened, I probably would have watched it, because I got Foxtel. I probably would have streamed it maybe and watched the whole game. Maybe as of filming, I'm filming this on a Sunday. I probably would have filmed it. Probably would have watched it this morning, but of course the match didn't go on. So let's get straight into it. So let's get into the first game, which happened on Thursday at the GABBA between the Brisbane Heat and the Melbourne Stars. Start off, obviously the Melbourne Stars won the bat flip and elected the bowl first, I should say. A lot of things happened at first over. Of course, Kawaja and Marnus Labuschagne, obviously, who obviously next week are going to be over in Perth for the Test match, playing for Australia. They were allowed to play in this game play for the Brisbane Heat. He got dropped in the very first over by Tom Rogers. It was a tough chance. I think he was a backward point, I believe it was. But it was a tough chance that he put down. Sooner or later, Kawaja hit the first boundary of the game, and then soon afterwards, his opening partner in Colin Munro, who it was just announced he's going to be because Kawaja was captain in this game. I think Colin Munro will be for the majority of the season will be the Brisbane Heat captain. It was announced. I think it was yesterday. I believe it was. I think a few days ago. Hit the first six of the game. The Heat, both Munro and Kawaja got them off to a flying start. They were after the 4 over power play. They were none for 43. They were going at just under 11 runs and over, which was outrageous, really. And then straight after that power play, they brought up their 50 partnership. And then suddenly, and then who else would take the first wicket of the Big Bash season? But the Big Show himself, Glenn Maxwell. What more can this guy do? To be honest, he's had a crazy couple of months at the World Cup, and then obviously winning a T20 game for Australia against India a week or so ago, and then obviously taking the first wicket of the Big Bash season. It's just all things kind of gold really, or maybe not. I'll get to that later. So you got the first wicket there. Soon afterwards, Munro reached his 50 off just 33 balls at the time. He hit 5 4s and 3 6s at the time. And then about halfway through the innings, halfway through the Heat innings, they were at 1 for 101. I pretty much liked Marnus's innings, to be fair, because he was playing a great second field to Munro, and he was just, you know, knocking around in some ones and twos, getting him into the gaps and getting Munro on strike and letting him hit the boundaries. But yeah, and then Colin Munro was same with Kawaja. He was another one that got dropped. By Ollie Stone on the boundary. I thought, I said, just get it out, and sure enough, I think Ollie Stone he got it about 3/4 of it, and then at the last second he just dropped it and went buried out of his hands, unfortunately. So yeah. Soon they brought up the 50-run partnership, but soon Marnus and Munro got the 50-run partnership, and then just as when Marnus was ready to go big, unfortunately got caught in the deep by Marcus Stoinis for 30 off 22. And then it was still a bit quiet, basically. What I saw was basically, was that just as when, you know, the Stars were just really, because basically the Heat were basically going at 10 and over pretty much all the innings, pretty much. And just when they were about to probably maybe one bit tied over that would go for about 3 or 4 runs, that would basically get the Heat below 10 and over, there would be like a big over like 19 runs, which the Heat were always in front of the 8 ball anyways. So yeah, then in the 17th, the Heat finally took their power surge, which they went about 15.5 runs and over with. We're going at one, getting none for 31, which was very important, really. Sam Billings went out there as well. He played some glorious shots. Played a ramp shot at one stage for four bits, and then obviously got caught in the deep as well by Hilton Cartwright for 18. Then Maxie Bryant came out there. I really wanted Munro to score his 100 because I don't think any of the commentators, because I watched it on Channel 7 instead of watching on Fox Sports, obviously, and I didn't hear them notice. I think for me, they didn't say this. I think the last time that a batsman in the BBL season scored 100 in the season opener, or the Big Bash season opener, I think it was Aaron Finch. I remember I think Aaron Finch did that in season 2, I remember rightly, against the Stars at Marvel, I remember rightly. I think that was the last time, or the only time, I believe, that a batter had scored a Big Bash 100 in the Big Bash season opener. So yeah, and he got to 99, and surely Max Bryant would get him on strike. Unfortunately, he hit those last three balls of the innings for 4. and I love the way Munro handled himself after. He could have been better and said, nah, he should have got a single and got on strike. He was like, and I remember when Max Bryant hit the second last ball in innings for 4, he instantly grinned at him, which was freaking hilarious. Some people might say it's a smart ass type of thing, but I laughed at it. And I like Munro. He's like, it's a team game. As long as we win, I'm happy. So yeah, he didn't care if he was on like 50 or 99 or 100. He didn't care, pretty much. I like the way Munro went about it, pretty much. But yeah, at the end of it, the Heat finished their 20 overs on a mega 3 for 214. With of course Munro being the high scorer, scoring 99 not out from 61 balls, scoring 9 fours and 5 sixes. The best of the bowlers was Nathan Coulter-Nile with 1 for 35. I think he was the only one that was economical. Obviously, others were just getting tonked around the park. But it didn't have its issues though, because apparently he went off the field late in the game. Finished late in the innings. He suffered I don't know if I need to check this after I record this video. I might maybe do this in the comments. I think he did his calf. I remember rightly, because he had 2 false starts, and after he did something in his calf, and then after he did the over, he just went straight off. But he did come back and was the final man out there with the Stars innings. So I don't know if there's any issue with that. But yeah. So yeah. Also, one thing to mention: the Stars bowled 24 extras. That's right, 24 sundries. Which as you guys know, I'm a Renegades fan. I hate the Stars, so I just wanted to put this out straight away. This is gonna be beautiful rating for me. Beautiful rating for me of 17 wides, 1 no ball, and 6 leg byes. Brilliant. Bravo. No team is going to beat 24 extras. No, it's going to beat that. So that left the Stars needing a mega 215 runs to win, at a required run rate of 10.75 runs and over. Things were looking bright and sandy when new recruit and former Renegade Sam Harper hit his first ball for 4. And then it took pretty much 22 overs of the 21 overs of the Big Bash season. We finally we didn't have a DRS review in the whole heat innings, but we did have one in this one, and the first one was obviously a big LBW shout, and as we all know, Sam Harper, he's not the tallest man in the world. Let's put it that way. Not the tallest batsman in the world. But he was trapped in front. It was shout for LBW, which was given not out. They instantly reviewed it, instantly straight away, and it was found to have hit the top of leg stump. Which yeah. At first I thought it was going to go over the top, but then I realised that Sam Harper's not a big man, so it was going to, but the height was not going to be an issue. It was just about hitting the stumps, and it did. So, unfortunately, the umpy had to do a bit of this. He had to do a bit of that for the first DRS review of the season. So yeah, and then things did not get better from there for the Stars. Let's put it that way. Tom Rogers went for the big shot, and it was caught by the keeper Sam Billings, out for 1 off 2, and which made Michael Neser get his second wicket for the over in the first over of the game. That brought up the man of the moment himself, Glenn Maxwell, to the crease. So I'm like, if there's anybody that could chase down 215 by himself, it's Glenn Maxwell. He did it in India. He did it pretty much on his own. I remember in that crazy 201 against Afghanistan in the World Cup. Surely he can do this there, and it looked like he did. He played some glorious shots. Usual Glenn Maxwell shots, but unfortunately one of them, and unfortunately he's going to be out because of this. It looked like he overextended, was a bit overzealous with the shot that one of them went for 4, and unfortunately he injured his forearm. He stopped repeatedly, and he was annoyed by it as well, but yeah, and unfortunately, he's going to miss the Stars' next game, or the Stars' first home game of the season against the Hobart Hurricanes on Wednesday. Yeah, Wednesday. So yeah, And despite that, obviously the Stars, predominantly because of Maxwell going ballistic as he usually does, they got to 2 for 37, and they were going at nine runs and over, which was okay, but not compared to not compared to the Brisbane Heats. Going under 11 runs and over, 10.75 runs and over. Soon afterwards, unfortunately, Maxwell played his traditionally old reverse sweep, and it failed because he got caught in the deep and got out for 23 off 14 deliveries. And that's when things really did go for the Melbourne Stars. In a good way. Especially for me, because I'm a Renegade supporter. Stortis creamed one straight to cover for 2. Not long after that. And then not long after that happened, Joe Burns got knocked over by Mitch Schwepson for 22. So that left half the side down for the Melbourne Stars, close to the tempo, which was not really that good. They got to the halfway mark at 5 wickets down for 73 runs. They still needed to require 142 runs from their last 10 overs at a required rate, of 14.2 runs and over. Probably with Maxwell there, it would be possible. But with Maxwell out, that's not good. So, yeah. Soon after that, they took the Stars took their power surge. Dawson, of course, went big, got caught in the deep for 7. But a good productive, power surge they had. They got 10 and over during their power surge, so 20 runs from their 2 overs with the wicket of Dawson. Then their last remaining hope, Hilton Cartwright, also got caught in the deep for 33 off 16. 16. So pretty much the end was near for them. Pakistani leg spinner Usama Mir, he got caught at short fine for only 11. Then Joel Paris soon after that was the next one to go. Caught in the deep for only for 5. Left them 9 down. Shockingly, Nathan Coulter-Nile went out there despite his suspected, calf injury or wherever it was. But yeah, and then not long after that, Ollie Stone was the last wicket to fall, knocked over by Mitch Schwepson for 2, which left them bowled out for 111 in the 16th over. Hilton Cartwright played a lone hand, obviously, as I said, with Birdie Preep in 16. Played some beautiful shots of his own as well. Mitch Schwepson was the pick of the Heat bowlers with 3 for 23 from his 4 overs. In the end, the Brisbane Heat won this match by 103 runs, which in terms of runs is the Brisbane Heat's biggest ever Big Bash win. So beating out, I think the previous was 101 runs, I believe. And then obviously, not surprisingly, Colin Munro won the player of the match for his knock of 99 not out. And then and of course it was played in front of only 20,300 people there at the old GABBA, which is soon going to be demolished for the Olympic Games. Good start to the season for the Brisbane Heat, but not good as usual for the Melbourne Stars. Moving on then to the match that happened the other night on Friday between the Sydney Sixers and the Melbourne Renegades at the SCG. For starters, pretty much the Melbourne Renegades, they won the bat flip and they chose to bowl first. Of course, Josh Philippe and the champion himself, Steve Smith, went out there to bat, and it didn't look good in the first 5 of the bid overs. It didn't look good, to be honest, for us. They were going at 12 runs and over in their power play. Steve Smith was Philippe was whacking everything out the park pretty much, and Steve Smith was just being Steve Smith. Let's put it that way. But then all of a sudden, Nick Manson decided to put on the old chief himself, Will Sutherland, and he got 2 wickets in the over. Forced Philippe to chop one onto his stumps for 29. He was looking good. He was looking very good. And even said himself in his interview that he said, he felt really good out there, and that's And then James Vince as well did the exact same thing, basically chopping one on. And this is what I'm going to get a ball here for a second just to prove for it. So the pitch was strange actually, and Steve Smith actually pointed this out on the mic when he was out in the field during the Renegades innings. Got to get the ball here. So pretty much because the pitch that was on there was just basically there was a bit of grass on it. But there was a thing in the middle of the pitch where there was this dry spot on there. And what Steve Smith said was, if you bowl a straight seam, which is like this, then it would actually come onto the bat. It would actually come onto the bat better. What Sutherland was doing was this scrambled seam. That's what he was doing. Doing that. And what he said, it would actually grip off the surface. That's what it would actually be doing. That's what actually would be doing. And also, and if it hits this dry spot, it will actually bounce a lot more as well. So that's what Steve Smith noticed when he was talking on the mic out on the field, which we'll talk about later. Speaking of Steve Smith, he during his innings. He became the quickest player to score 1,000 Big Bash runs in only 30 matches. How ridiculous! That man is absolutely ridiculous. The Sixers got to the halfway mark at 2 for 91. They settled in pretty quickly. They settled in pretty well. Both Smith and Moses on Reeks after both the wickets of Philippe and Vince. So during that time, obviously, Smith got his 50 off 31 balls. He got 6 balls and a 6. Then soon, they got the 50-run partnership between he and Enriquez of just 40 balls. So they were just keeping it calm out there as well. Then the Sixers took their power surge in the 15th over, and then there was a caught behind decision which was given not out off the bat of Moses Enriquez, which they went up straight away, which was reversed. It was cleared, it was in the glove, but clearly Moses Enriquez didn't see it that way. Let's put it that way. So of course they. I just realised I forgot to put the score of how much the Sixers had in their power surge. I forgot it. Sorry about that, guys. Then afterwards, after the power surge, Steve Smith brilliant innings came to an end. He was caught in the deep for 61. 61 off the bowling of Adam Zampa in his first game as a Renegade. And then the next ball, Tom Curran came out and lasted the sultry 1 ball. He got knocked over. Which left, obviously, him with 2 wickets and 2 balls. Didn't get the hat-trick. He was very close to the hat-trick, actually. And then Jack Edwards came out there. He was run out after he was running through for a bye. for 10 or 14. And then that was pretty much it. And the Sixers ended their innings on 6 for 175. Obviously, Steve Smith being the standout of the Sixers batters with his stock of 61 for 42. Will Sutherland, the best of the Renegades bowlers, with great figures of 2 for 21 from his 4 overs. Very, very good from him. That left obviously the Melbourne Renegades needing 176 runs to win from the 20 overs at a required run rate of just under 9 runs and over. It started pretty well for them with Nick Manson hitting a ridiculous ramp shot for 6 off his first ball, by the way. Or one of the, I think it was first or second ball, I believe, or second ball as well. His 4th ball, because the next ball afterwards he got caught behind as well. But yeah, and then obviously the first 4 of the innings was off Joe Clark, who used to play for the Melbourne Stars, which is it's so glorious to have not 1 but 2 Stars players play for Renegades the rest of the season. But yeah, with a glorious cover drive, brilliant cover drive, and then afterwards, and then straight afterwards he got run out. He got run out due to some great fielding from Jackson Bird, and then soon afterwards we got into the Jake Fraser McGurk show, or shall I start calling him Jake Fraser Berserk, Fraser Berserk. Because he went ballistic, and ever since he got that lazy 100 in the one day cup of 29 deliveries, he like, and I was a guy who said, "Oh, he was useless." I've even said in a few videos that he's useless, but he's improved in leaps and bounds. I know it's after one game, but he's improved out of sight for me, really. It was really unlucky he didn't get a 50, as I'll mention in a bit. So the Renegades finished their power play at 2 for 38. You know, just I think just behind, or way behind the Sydney Sixers in their power play. Jordan Cox. Don't even know who this freaking bloke is, but anyways, hopefully they see him again. Let's just say, thank goodness Quinton de Kock's going to be playing for us today. Thank God, as I'm recording this, thank God Quinton de Kock's going to be playing for us, because Cox only got a 3rd ball duck, so he was trying to do the big shot, but unfortunately, he didn't do it all that well. But Fraser McGurk, he was been very entertaining, obviously. Even hit one on the freaking member stand roof at the SCG. He was hitting them that well. Unfortunately, a very good slow ball. I think it was by Abbott, I believe. Tried the glide over top of the keeper. Unfortunately, didn't come off, and unfortunately was caught. Was caught. So then, and things didn't look that good for us. Obviously, being 4 for 80, we needed over 96 runs from 10 overs to win at about 9.6 and over. It was not looking good, and it especially wasn't looking good when John O'Wells went for 6 off 8 balls after he was given an LBW. He reviewed it, but unfortunately it was unsuccessful in the end as well. So then after waiting, when Will Sutherland came out there, he was whacking things out of the park. We were waiting when they're going to take the power surge. In the 16th over they did, and about 2 balls in the power surge, Finch was looking pretty well. We all thought, he can usually go to as he did so many times for us last season, bring us home. Maybe he could do this versus 2 in this game. Oh, and then bob one straight, solo ball from Abbott, bob straight up, Smith took the catch. And I immediately, as it went up, I went, shit. That's what I immediately said afterwards. I was like, shit. And it's going to be taken, and it pretty much it was. And then, so then pretty much we're on the back foot. But we still had the Chief there, Will Sutherland, and it was a very good innings really from Will Sutherland, to be fair. Tom Rogers obviously he went out there, he smacked his first ball of the first ball he faced before, and then we got into a bit of controversy as well. The second to last over, for some reason, all that Sutherland needed was to block it out and basically be a dot ball, and he'll maintain, Rogers have Rogers block the ball, or block it out, be a dot ball, and he would gain the strike for the last over. Unfortunately, he ran through for a single, which left Rogers on strike for the last over, for the first ball of the last over, needing needed like 18 or 17 runs on the last over. First ball, tries a ramp shot, goes back onto his stumps. Yeah, I know Sutherland had faith in Rogers, but you're on 40 odd, and Tom Rogers is not the worst batsman in the world, but he's not the best either. Probably should have said no run on the last ball of the previous over. Let's put it that way. But yeah, and then the first ball he does go back on strike, hits a 6, and I thought, if he can hit a 60, this could be very interesting. He hits it, and Jordan Silk. We all know how good Jordan Silk is in the field. With a stupendous stop from stopping the ball from getting to the boundary. It was utter brilliance, really, from him. And from that point on, it was all over. From that point, Sutherland reached his maiden Big Bash 50 of 28 balls. Only hit the solid boundary, but he hit 4 sixes in that innings as well. But in the end, the Sixers ended. The Renegades ended their innings 8 runs short of their target, 7 of 167. Will Sutherland. It almost reminded me of last season against the Hurricanes. I remember, I think it was on Christmas Eve, I believe. This match was over down at Tassie. I remember rightly, where Sutherland almost won us the game for us there. When Wells went out, when Jono Wells went out, I thought, we have no chance. We have no chance from here. Even with Finchy there, and then obviously with the Chief there as well, we all know he can hit a big hitter ball. But probably at that stage, we needed 80 runs to win from about 40 odd, from 48 balls, I believe it was, to win. It was maybe just a tad bridge too far, but maybe we can, if we can lose by about 20, 30 runs or so, it would be pretty decent. But they took it right down to the wire too. And I just imagine if Finchy hadn't have had a go with that slow ball from Abbott, he probably would have gotten out anyways. The almost Renegade. Every single time someone steps up for us with the bat, we end up losing by a tight margin. How appropriate is that, really? For the Sixers, Ben Dorshus was the pick of their bowlers with 3 for 36 from his 4. After a traumatic week when his father passed away of the week of the game on Friday night, which was very, very sad thing for him. It was a very emotional week for him. But he said, I want to play. I want to play. And he played he bowled very well. So with Ben, and with the Dorshus family on that. and also not. And I remember Steve Smith. They also mentioned this to Steve Smith, and he said that that they're. No, actually, no. Steve O'Keefe actually said during the Sixers innings, had made a comment on this and said, "Oh, the Sixers are one. It's like a one big family. You know, we all had our arms around Ben afterwards, and yeah, it was pretty nice to see they had his support there as well. So the Sixers win the game. Obviously, as I said, by eight runs. Not surprisingly, Steve Smith was named man of the match for his knocker 61 off 42 deliveries. Yeah, good bit of form leading into the Test series against Pakistan, which I did see a bit of that with the game against the Prime Minister's 11, and let's just say the Packers are going to have a really tough time bowling against the likes of Smith, Lamashane, Warner, Kawaja and co. Head and co. Let's put it that way. And it obviously not. Obviously, I thought, to be honest, the Renegades. They did actually play quite well. They actually played quite well, to be honest, for me. As I said, at about the 11 or 12 over mark when Sutherland went in, I thought, I think it's a bit out of our reach, to be honest. But we pulled it back really well, and we ended up winning it by a closer margin of that I first thought, to be honest. In the end, but let's see. Hopefully, we fight back well against the Perth Scorchers at the G-Town at Geelong, and obviously, I said Quinton de Kock is playing his first game for the Renegades tonight. So hopefully he does well. Hopefully which is supposed to start in about 5 minutes time. So I suppose I should end this video here. So a bad start for both. So a bad start of the season for the Renegades. Even worse a start for the Melbourne Stars. So another reason why I should kick it into them. Let's put it that way. What a one-man band that team is. Let's put it that way. So like this video. Shares to anybody who's a Melbourne Renegades fan like me, or a Brisbane Heat fan, or a Sydney Sixers fan. Comment down below. Which team is your tip to win the Big Bash this season? And then lastly, somewhere down there. Click on the big red button which is labeled subscribe. But until next time, guys, I'll see you guys later, and wherever you may be, may the sun or the moon shine on your BBL team in season 13 this year.